Hey, what is up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thanks for coming back to get hit with the truth. Coming to you, been lagging on these videos. So today is the what's next on Brian Castano, the newly crowned and undefeated WBO super welterweight champion at 154 pounds. Again, guys, if you like my videos, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down if you don't like them. I'm cool with that. I appreciate full honesty. Leave a comment, positive or negative, and also subscribe if you like the channel. I'd appreciate the love and support. So, anyways, let's jump into Brian Castano. So on February 13th, he fought on the undercard of a DAZN card. Actually, surprisingly, was the co-feature, and he pretty much dominated Patrick Teixeira. And what was pretty much, I mean, a lot of people, myself included, thought it might have been the best to the second best matchup of the whole month of February. You had Castano, undefeated former champion, former secondary champ against Teixeira, hard hitting, good southpaw. Castano was coming in the favorite, but I really don't think people thought it was going to be as one sided as it was. It was competitive. There was a lot of rounds that were competitive, but Teixeira just couldn't keep up with Castano's pace. And he couldn't hurt Castano. I think he backed him up once or twice during the fight. He caught him with some clean ass punches, but Castano just kept coming. His work ethic was just on point, and it was impressive to work that hard over 15 rounds. I mean, over after a 15-month layoff. I mean, it was just crazy. And he only fought 5 rounds back in November of 2019, his previous fight. So, man, Castano was just a workhorse. He went right at Patrick Teixeira. He used angles. It wasn't just that Mexican come straight forward, take a bunch of punches. I mean, he took some shots. Teixeira's a good fighter, but Castano outworked him and just bullied him in the ring and got a convincing 12-round unanimous decision. I mean, he won 10, 11 rounds. He might have won them all. And he was just on point. He was really on point. Impressive performance for Brian Castano. So the big question now is, what's next for Brian Castano? Well, what everybody wants is an undisputed fight with Jermell Charlo. The PBC with Castano and Charlo now own all 4 belts at 154. So you would think, well, there's no excuse why we can't see an undisputed title fight. Well, that's a yes and no type thing. Because it depends on if these two sides, if the Charlo can get some clarity on his mandatory defense. He has sitting there. He has Erickson Lubin, the undefeated #1 contender, which would be a rematch from 2017 when Charlo knocked Lubin out in the first round of their fight. Now, the WBC, the Green Belt, they've been the most corrupt organization the last couple of years. Part of it's because they're trying to get the best, most known fighters into title fights and, the best fighters becoming champions. Some of it's working, some of it isn't. In this case, I think it would be constructive to have Charlo and Castano fight for the undisputed crown. And give Erickson Lubin an immediate shot right after. Let him fully become the interim champion. And if the winner of that fight doesn't want to fight him, then he moves straight into becoming the world champion of the WBC, and there's no issues there. But the WBC has to come down with some kind of clarity. Lubin's been the #1 contender for, what is it, almost 6 months now. It's since September of last year. He's been the mandatory. They have not ordered him to fight Charlo, who last fought in September also of last year. So it's kind of unknown what's going to go on. I would hope that we could build the fight a little more and let Charlo get a fight in. But, we just got to wait and see what happens because he hasn't announced anything. So I wouldn't be surprised if Charlo moves straight into a fight with Castano in the next 3, 4, 5 months, something like that. I don't think Charlo would mind that because say they were to fight by like July or August, that's only a 10 or 11-month layoff for Charlo, and I don't think he would care, if it was for the undisputed crown. So Charlo is the first option, and he's #1 in the top 10, and we're going to run through the top 10 anyway. Castano, I got him at #2. Now, next up at #3 is Jarrett Hurd. Man, I would love to see this matchup right here. I think it'd be good. It would probably be a last resort option, though, because I'm not sure Hurd wants the smoke of Castano right now. And to be honest, I'm not sure Castano wants to take the risk against a guy with Hurd's talent and power and size, He has a road and a pathway to Charlo, even if Charlo doesn't come next, for the undisputed crown. So it might be high risk, low reward to take on a guy like Jarrett Hurd. But I would love to see that matchup. They're both with the PBC, so I wouldn't completely rule it out because it is a great matchup. And Castano might just say, "Fuck it, give me Hurd. I can beat him." So that is an option. Number 4 is the WBA regular champion Arizolanda Lara in what would be a rematch from their March 2019 fight that ended in a draw. So Lara never called out Castano after that. He said it wouldn't make sense for a rematch. Lara's sitting there bitching about how Jarrett Hurd didn't want to fight him. He turned him down for a rematch. Is Lara going to sit there and bitch out if he doesn't get Charlo and turn down Castano? I think this fight's got a real possibility now because now you're putting Lara on the spot and saying, hey, look, Castano's got a name and he's got a title now. So now what? So, I think Lara, if for some reason neither one of these guys lands what's his name in their next fight, lands Charlo in their next fight, I think it's very possible we could see Castano and Lara for at least the WBO title. I don't know if the WBO would approve Lara's secondary world title as part of it, but you never know. It could. Number 5 is Jason Rosario. I wouldn't completely rule this out. Rosario's coming off that tough loss to Charlo where he got knocked out. So he's with the PBC. He might say, hey, I'll take a crack at Castano and go at it. Like, say, if Charlo were to choose Lara instead of Castano, then Castano's trying to stay busy. He takes on Rosario, who knocked out Julian J. Rock Williams. Why not? I think it's a possibility. I think it'd be a real possibility. So I think it could happen next. Number 6 is Julian J. Rock Williams. I don't think J. Rock wants not next. I don't see this fight happening. J. Rock still hasn't returned since losing last January when he got knocked out in 5 rounds by Rosario. So I just don't see this one next. I mean, I wouldn't completely rule it out because Castano has a title, but does J. Rock really want to come back and risk it against Castano? I mean, it's possible, and I think Castano might be down for the fight if he can't get another big name to fight him, but right now I'm going to lean towards the no. I don't see it. Number 7 is Tony Harrison, the former WBC champion. Another one, maybe, but Harrison hasn't fought since December of 2019. I mean, he would have to come back quick here, get a stay busy fight in, and then maybe Castano would be possible. But as of right now, I mean, would it make sense? I mean, outside of Harrison being a former champ and a name and with the PBC, I mean, yeah, I guess anything's possible then. But I don't know. I don't know if Castano wants a guy like him, but I don't think he would say no to it if some of the other better options weren't there. So Harrison is possible. Number 8 now. I'm moving Erickson Lubin up to number 8 after the loss for Teixeira. I'm moving Erickson Lubin up to number 8. I don't see it. Lubin's the number 1 contender for the WBC. He'd be a risk. He's a real good boxer. So I don't know if Castano would want to take him on. I don't see this one. Number 9 is Sebastian Fundora, the undefeated, like 6'5" super welterweight. I think that's possible. Very possible right there. Him and not possible. I'm sorry. I think him and Sebastian Fundora, not possible. I don't think Castano wants to take a risk. He's a shorter super welterweight. I mean, this dude is a beast. Let this guy earn his way up. Definitely not next. Castano's not taking that chance. And then number 10 is Patrick Teixeira in what would be a rematch. There's no need for a rematch. He dominated Teixeira, so there's no need for a rematch, so I don't see it. So, yeah, that's it. I think the real possibilities are Charlo, are Lara, and then after that, it's kind of a crapshoot. You don't know, but I'm hoping it's a top 10 guy like a Jarrett Hurd, Jason Rosario, I think could really be possible. J-Rock, Tony Harrison. The cool thing is the PBC has a lot of fighters at 154 for Castano, so they should give him somebody. I don't think Tim Tszyu, who's highly rated in WBO, because he works with ESPN and Top Rank, I don't see that one next unless Tszyu becomes the mandatory, and Castano's in optional defense mode. He was the mandatory. He beat Teixeira, so he's in optional defense mode. He doesn't have to fight him. So I don't see it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's it. That's the what's next on the newly crowned and undefeated WBO super welterweight champion of the world, Brian Castano. All right, guys, True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.